Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage your host this evening, Matthew Sweet.
Good evening everybody. It's actually happening. You know, when people ask you in years to come, when did your life peak? Where were you the happiest? You will be able to tell them. The 18th of January, 2019, Bristol Old Vic. I was there when Little and Large reunited for one night of conversation. Little and Large, you know, in all of our psyches, I think, those of us of a certain age. 14 primetime series with 14 million viewers tuning in for each episode. They achieved their success by bringing club comedy, really, I think, to that prime time environment. They weren't university comedians. They were educated in the school of hard knocks, I think. We'll be hearing about some of those knocks tonight. Sid Little and Eddie Large bestrode 80s light entertainment like a colossus, or at least like one colossus and one tall, thin one. We're going to remind ourselves now of their genius, and then they will be here, physically, corporeally, for our pleasure.
Right then, Miller. You've got exactly 1 minute to put as many things as you can in that trolley. And your time starts now! $58, $59, $60! Well done, my love, well done! I hate shopping with the wife, don't you? Right, that's where we'll put the safety fence. Let's go in here, Sid, and get a couple of Big Macs. That way we won't get soaked. Right-o.
Did you like them?
I thought you were Brill.
Here's some more then.
Howdo. Ernest Clegg, room 202. I'm with the Racing Bird Fanciers Convention. Any mail for me?
Yes, Mr. Clegg. But I do wish you and your colleagues would use the postal service like everybody else.
Now, Mrs. Edwards, can you see the men who broke into your house last Thursday?
Well, I can't be sure. It was dark. The lights were out.
Oh, I see. You recognise him now, Mrs. Edwards?
That's him. That's the man.
Oh no, I still think this is a dream, don't you?
Hands up, all those who thought we were dead. Hands up if we're going to die.
You will not die tonight.
No,
we may discuss some of those deaths that you experienced early on in your career in that world of the working men's club, because this is the kind of the culture, the world that you emerged from, wasn't it, Eddie?
What, the clubs? Yeah, we were a club act. That's all we were. We were an aggressive club act, because when we went on television, you can sort of, the music hall acts were more suited to TV than what we were, because there was no mobile phones going off. No, but there was It was like tonight, they would concentrate on what was going on stage.
Yeah.
We worked clubs where the fight would break out over here. A fella got up to try and beat me up one night because I was having a go at Sid. Bottles thrown, bread rolls thrown. I mean, I liked that because I was hungry. But, and so that was the world we came from.
Was it
Our full.
I forgot he was there, sorry. Man.
Our first full week's, work was at a place called the Embassy Club in Manchester, and we did 3 clubs a night, 7 nights a week, and we got 50 quid. And Bernard Manning, the Embassy.
And we were working.
And
we were working during the day.
Yeah. Semi-pro, as they called it, didn't they?
So what were you doing in those days then? When you were appearing in clubs in the
Well, I was a
evening, and what
painter
was the
and
day job?
decorator during the day, yes.
What were you?
As an apprentice painter and decorator.
I can still see the paint on you.
Yeah. Still doing it, yeah. You were an electronics engineer.
I was electrical engineer in a massive engineering firm in Trafford Park. I hated it. It was too near Man United's ground. No, that is not true. I mean, it is true, it was near.
The trouble was, Eddie...
I just wasn't destined.
Yeah, but you were with...
interrupting me, that's my
sorry.
job. I forgot you've lost the thread.
No, but you were in Metrovix, which was
We should do this.
a big
We
company.
shouldn't do this together.
And the thing is, it was a union shop.
Oh, it was.
Me, I was in a little, just a family decorating thing, so I didn't have any union behind me. And he never went into work. Because he was happy sort of going out with me, and we were playing guitar and everything, and doing the act and everything. And we'd have a curry about 4 o'clock in the morning. He'd get
You always
I'm
were
not
a
got to
slow
work. And but they never sack it because they can't say strong union. Me, boom, that was it. But Eddie, he went into work, didn't you, the day that you said I'm leaving?
Well, yeah.
What did the fella say?
Well, I was not going to work because we were working at night time and earning lots more than going and working 4 to 4 hours a week, which was the case in those days. And this is where our careful planning... Everyone thought we had a plan. So on the Thursday, I contacted Sid, October the 17th, 1963, wow. And I said, we're turning professional tomorrow. He went, what? I've only just got this good job. And that was it. And I phoned my foreman up, and I said, I'm leaving tomorrow. And he said, thank for that. So obviously I wasn't a good
So this was a kind of moment of escape for you, Eddie, but was that the same for you, Sid?
No, because I was having a great time. And, I still like doing painting and decorating now, but I think I'd have made more money, maybe at the painting and decorating, I don't know. But it was a choice I had to take, and luckily I did the right one.
I mean, the thing was, he touched on it, we could stay in bed till 12 o'clock in the afternoon, and we could stay out eating and drinking till 3 in the morning with other acts, which we thought that was fantastic. And that was one of the main reasons we turned professional. Honestly, that's true.
For pleasure?
Not to be famous.
Because you wanted to live a life of pleasure?
Absolutely, yeah, debauchery, yeah. Loved it. Still living it.
Well, I would say debauchery. I still live with my mum in a council house.
Well, so's the Queen.
Yeah, oh dear. Don't go down that road, yeah.
Don't go down that route. Do you mean...
Yeah.
I like that. So sharp.
So there's a kind of foundational myth of Little and Large, and I don't know what elements are true and what elements are, but the story is that you are performing in a pub, or that you, Sid, are performing in a pub in Wythenshawe, and this man gets up out of the audience and heckles you, and this is where the act begins. But is that true, or is that just one of those...
No. No. I'll just tell you what happened. I met Sid in a ballroom, didn't I?
Sale Locarno.
Sale Locarno.
But you didn't actually meet me, you saw me.
I saw him. Anyway, the thing is, his mates said to my mates, you've got to come and see Sid. Every Friday he sings and plays his guitar in this pub. So I went along to see him, and he's there up on stage, with his glasses, his guitar, and I thought, why is Ed Sheeran's granddad appearing in this pub? See what I did there? Anyway, brilliant
today.
What did you call yourself? A one-man what?
A one-man karaoke, really, because, the thing is, it was in the days, I mean, you might not remember out there, but in those days, the pubs around Manchester especially, and mostly in Bristol as well, they had what's called free and easy, and they used to have a piano and a drummer.
I was free.
In the corner. And you could get up, anyone could get up you know, and do whatever they wanted. And I had a little lamp and my guitar, me often a colour armour, and I used to get up and I got £1 every Saturday night for working in the Stonemason's Arms, it was called. And
what was good about him, and this was his downfall, and this is how we started performing. He'd be up all night, 3 songs, little break, and he's up at 10 o'clock at night. We've all had a few...
Dutch Courage.
Pantomime in Manchester then. Do you remember Pantomime? Pantomime.
Served it.
And so I'm dying to get up now. So we had the waiter used to sing Delilah, all that kind of thing. They all had their songs. Me, one song, Living Doll. Sid, do you know Living Doll? As easy going as ever. Yeah, OK. I go up, sing Living Doll. All our mates are in the audience. More, 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 more. I thought, I don't know anymore. I only know one song. So Sid launches into this song called Rubber Ball by Bobby V, and part of it, they go, bouncy, 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 bouncy. So just for something to do, I started bouncing all round the stage like a rubber ball. And we went down a storm, didn't we?
Well, Eddie couldn't just stand there and do nothing, and that was it. And that was the whole thing. That's when comedy came into it, because we never thought... I mean, Eddie thought he was like Marlon Brando or someone like that. I thought it was Buddy Holly.
Singer, was he?
No, but I thought it was Buddy Holly. So, you know, all of a sudden, when we stand up and people start laughing at us, what are they laughing at? You know, and then that was it. We got the idea.
The basis was songs. We'd sing, and Sid would be concentrating on his guitar chords, and people would say, I don't know how you can keep your face so straight when Eddie's messing around. And we didn't realise we were doing it. Then the comedians around the pubs and clubs say, why don't you do a joke about Sid so thin he has to run around in the shower to get wet? Do that. Oh, that's good. He can do the hula hoop through a polo mint. Oh, yeah, that's a good. He was in a film, Lassie, played the lead. And things like that. So, actually, we did in 1965, we did the American bases, didn't we? In France.
Oh, wow.
And when they were in France. And so I did that gag. He was in Lassie, played the lead, nothing, because they call it a leash. So,
and that could have been the last joke they heard before they went off to Vietnam.
Oh, yeah.
Vietnam, 65.
65, yeah, it was still good.
Was it really?
Yeah, oh, yeah. It started early, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
sorry, that kind of brought things to a halt there. I apologise for that. How soon did that on-stage relationship begin to emerge? This idea that Sid was the musician and you would be this like interrupting, disruptive presence, trying to put him off his song.
I always thought it was the other way around. I'm surprised you said that.
No, the thing was, we like Eddie said at the beginning, we had nothing planned. We didn't have a clue what we were going to do. We didn't have any role models. We loved Laurel and Hardy, we loved all them, but we didn't try and emulate them. We didn't try and be like them. We didn't try and do Eric and Ernie, which were big in those 60s and that. We just enjoyed doing what we were doing. And we just got on with it, and it was the audience that changed our act, like Eddie just said.
They formed it, really.
And that was
do
it.
something, they'd laugh,
yeah.
Keep it in the next night.
And I'd come up with a song and go like, oh, I think we'll do Speedy Gonzales tonight. OK, boom. Then he'd go running round an audience with a sombrero, blah, 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 you know, and all that. And that's the way it worked, yeah.
Our naivety helped us as well, because we started off, as Sid said, the first week's work was at Bernard Manning's club, the Embassy Club. And it looked like an embassy that had just been bombed. And we were told by the other acts, if you can work Manchester, you can work anywhere. So we started going up to the northeast.
Oof.
And we worked at a club called Red House, and we did 2 half-hour spots. And I think they had a girl singer on who did 2 spots, then bingo in the middle. And we did OK. So we're in the digs the next day, and all the acts are there, and they said, where did you work last night, lads? And we went, Red House. I'll never work there. I got paid off there. I won't even drive past the place. And I'm looking at Sid, we did all right, actually. But next time we go to Red House, we see the burnt-out cars and the broken glass, then you get a bit, you know what I mean? So we just had no fear in the early days.
Because you'd had that experience sort of these audiences who would not be kind to comedians, would perhaps sometimes see them as a kind of somebody to be destroyed or put in their place, maybe occasionally.
Well, I think the thing was that what it is, you didn't give them chance to do anything, you were in, boom, boom, boom. And that was not just me and Eddie. You think of the comedians that were around in those days, Frank Carson, boom, 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 boom. You know, they were all bing, 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 you know, whereas now it's soft and all that and everything.
Well, you couldn't, you had
because
to
you
attack.
didn't give them a chance. Yeah.
We used to go out, and especially the working men's clubs in the early days, and I would be doing Look at Him. You know, he was on the beach yesterday with his swimming trunks. I thought it was a flag at half-mast. And it was all that. And you look at Tommy Cannonball, who we've known 50-odd years and worked with them 50-odd years. Bobby will come on, he won't look at Tommy in his act, this is, and he'll pick a woman, I'm going to have you, lady, she's looking at me, Tommy, I'm going to have her. And you had to have that attack. Yeah. Like Frank Carson, it's non-stop. Woman walks in a library, she says, can I have some fish and chips, please? She said, this is a library. Oh, sorry, could I have some fish and chips? And it's like, Frank would like, he'd like machine gun you, like Doddy.
You've got to.
Doddy just machine guns you with all these jokes. But that's how it was. You couldn't be like the lads today. There may be been some sort of theatre group at uni where they sat like this, no bar, no fight, something like that. Yeah. So the audience are giving their full attention.
Yeah.
What was it like to see people who couldn't cope with this and who didn't fight back?
Oh, it was a shame. The musical acts especially. Oh. We used to work a club in Manchester called the U-Tree, and we used to get changed with the beer crates. Well, we never got changed. We always smelt. And they would come in and... There was
one put makeup on. We didn't know what makeup was.
Not even a sink. They're asking where the sink is. And we thought, sink? What do you want a sink for? Do you want to pee? And you felt sorry for them, but that was the only world we knew. So, I mean, I've just been in a dressing room here.
Yeah, nice, wasn't it? Had lights on, and everything, the working lights and everything.
Electricity. Got carpets here, I can't believe it.
So, how soon did you... When did the names arrive? What led you not to work on your real names?
Can I jump in, because before Eddie tells me off?
He has no history of that.
Well, 1969, we'd been going since 63, and we're doing the club, bum, 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 and most of the act was Eddie. I was stood there with my guitar, standing there, and Eddie, as he said, I'd be the brunt of his gags. And obviously, other comics come in, hey, Ed, you're a good comic, you're a great impression, blah, 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 blah. So he turned to me one day in 69 and said, I'm going solo.
Did I?
Yeah. I said, oh, right, yeah, go solo. Yeah, okay, yeah, because I'm an easygoing guy. And, yeah, no problem.
69, I said I went solo.
Somewhere, anyway, listen to it. So anyway, so that was it. That was in the pipeline. That he said, but we got so much in working, which we did. We had a lot of working, so that was it. So the next thing is, we're up in the northeast again, and we were working in Hartlepool, a working men's club. And then we had to go to Newcastle to do a nightclub. This is what you did in one night. This, and so we were down there, and I'm coming through Sunderland, and I was in a big Corsair, Ford Corsair, and this guy came across a halt sign, boom, whacked us, spun round, and we were left in the car, set fire. Eddie gets to the boot, opens the boot, gets all this PA system we got out.
We'd only just bought it.
Yeah. So he didn't care about me. I'm stuck with my knees in the thing. Anyway, so the thing was, I gets out, these fellas put me on the wall. Luckily, nothing's brought it. I went to hospital. Eddie finished off the week and did it, the week first. That was about the Wednesday, I think it happened. And that was it. And it nearly killed us. I went to see the car the next day, whenever I got out of hospital, and he said, look at that. You're lucky to get out of that. Wow. And so that was that. Then the next thing, 70, 71, started to, because it was still in, and we got up knocks.
Hang on, what about the tag to that stuff?
Yeah, I know, I'll let you tell that.
No, because it makes me look good. You tell it.
Oh, right. So 69, back to 69, he sends me home on the train from Newcastle, back home to Manchester. I'm in bed. He comes in on Sunday morning after finishing the week off, sits on my bed, tells me how well he'd done all week. Brilliant, I did fantastic. I did this, did that, brilliant. Yeah, great. There you are, there's your money. Said, no, well, you did the week. You did half the week. No, 50-50, boom. And it's always been like that, yeah.
And they give me the money for no work. But I think We didn't answer the question.
I can't remember what it
You
was.
said about the name, didn't you?
Yes, the name, but we can get...
How did
Well,
Little
that's it,
Nas-
69.
I'll ask you. How did Little Nas come about?
Well, this is
name.
my version, isn't it? Yeah.
Well, my version is my clothes were monogrammed before I got them.
But
Eat large.
northeast again. A lot happened in the northeast. And somebody said, like, we went out to a posh restaurant. It was in
Lewis.
Lewis. That was it. You tell the story. I've had my
No.
I've had my
We
5 seconds of
actually-
fame.
We actually got, for years and years, Sid and Eddie we were called, very well known in Manchester as a club act. And for years and years we'd go out of Manchester and say, what sort of name, Sid and Eddie? And you should change your name, And this, what Sid's talking about, we did this restaurant in Lewis, near Eastbourne. And he was a real cocky bloke, savage bloke. And he said to me and Sid, he said, what sort of name is Sid and Eddie? So I said, we're very well known as Sid and Eddie in the north. He said, you ain't in the north, you're in the south. And so we'd had this for years. So I got this typewriter in Sunderland. I bought it in a second-hand shop. Started typing all these names. Footballers, golfers, Mike and Bernie Winters, Sid and Eddie Summers, Morecambe and Wise, Blackpool and Daft, anything like that. Then all of a sudden it just came, boom, Little and Large. And I couldn't wait to show Sid the next day. I said, pick a name out of that. And he went, Little and Large. I said, why have you picked that? He said, because it's typed in red.
But in
And that was it.
1969...
And that was just before Opportunity Knocks. Oh, but back to 69.
Well, 69, I'm just thinking that 69 is this moment when you could have gone your
Could have been
separate
dead.
ways.
Could have been dead. That's what I'm saying. I'm a great
Yeah.
believer in fate, and that was it.
Well, I would have carried on, but he'd have been in the cemetery. So.
But that was it. And I'm thinking, you know, as Eddie must have realised, I think he, you know, like, when you're on your own up, I mean, well, we're jumping, I'll wait till we get to the certain stories. But certain things happen in your life, and that's what one of them was. That was a turning point in our careers, as well as, because obviously Eddie decided, no, this is it, we're going to stay together. Because don't forget, he just had a week on his own, although he said he did well and all that. But how hard, that's why you always think of guys who stand up there on their own, flipping it. It's hard work. But when there's two of you, it's a little bit better.
So now we've got you kind of cemented together
Yeah.
in this story, permanently. I think it's time to look at a few more clips of you in your pomp. So let's have the next lot of clips, please.
Good evening. I'm Orson Welles. I have just been down in the cellar having a sample of sherry.
And I am Shelley.
Also, this sherry reaches parts of the body that other sherries can't reach.
And with a stomach like this, that's not easy.
Say goodnight, Gracie. But tonight I'm here in my role as film director to bring you some of the terrifying horror from films that I've made in fog-enshrouded alleys such as this.
Leave off, mate. This is the Turkish baths in Moss Side.
Why does you have to spoil everything?
We've found him, Van Helsing. Count Dracula.
Quick, pass the stakes, Harker.
1, 2, 3.
180!
Met a girl crazy for me.
Met a boy, cute as can be.
Summer days drifting away through the summer night.
Not seen that for ages.
I bet those lads wouldn't be able to lift me now.
Cool.
So they...
Actually, can I just say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
That first sketch we did, Orson Welles, and the girl came up and patted my tummy, that was Vicky Michelle from Hello Hello. You know, what's she called? Yvette, wasn't it?
Yvette.
Yeah, Vicky,
Yeah.
yeah. So that was an interesting fact.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good.
And it was me singing on Grease. It wasn't Sid, it was me.
I'm not at the
Got that,
operation.
you know, because I'm always in the background, don't get the chance to shine.
So that was you there in that, you know, you've fully developed big BBC primetime show. We need to join the dots between Opportunity Knocks and that, I think.
Yes, well, I see a lot of people in here. There's a lot of young people in here tonight. No, there is. I can't see any, but I understand there is. I understand there is. And Opportunity Knocks was like, for those people that don't know, a bit like Britain's Got Talent, would you say?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
But you actually voted for the acts. It was presented by a guy called Huey Green, who was a Canadian.
Do the impression, go on. There must be someone here.
Well, Frank, he used to try. He was very patriotic, wasn't he? Old
Canadian.
Huey?
Yes.
And he was in the RAF, the British RAF and all that, and he was very patriotic. Anyway, and he used to go, ladies and gentlemen, vote, vote. And you had to vote in a postcard, not like the modern day, whatever.
Text.
So, yeah, that's how you did it. Second, and he'd go, he'd introduce the acts. Ladies and gentlemen, if you can't spell the Brodowski Brothers, Jetput dancers will know who you mean. Ladies and gentlemen, if you can't spell the Warsaw Dancing Troupe, just put dancers will know who you mean. If you can't spell Little and Lars, just put crap will know who you mean. Now, he didn't say that. Plenty of others did. But the thing is about... So we won Opportunity Knocks. But I could just quickly tell you a story. You might not remember this. On the same show we used to have a sponsor who sponsor you. So if me and Sid are on Opportunity Knocks now, Matthew would be our sponsor, and Huey Green would say, who have you brought along? He'd say, I brought my friends a lot. And this is how it was. So it could be your school teacher, it could be your mum, your dad, your auntie, your uncle, your best mate. In our case, it was Miss Great Britain. Why? I don't know. I don't know why. It was a manager at the time.
Manager?
Yeah, manager. And Huey says, ladies and gentlemen, we have our next sponsor, Miss Great Britain. Welcome to our wonderful show. Big round of applause for Miss Great Britain. Who have you brought along? Little and large. What did he do? I don't know. I've never seen him. But on that show, I'll try and make this quick, there was a girl singer, and her sponsor was her auntie. And she was a florist. And the idea was, Huey always had to have a little joke with whoever the sponsor was. So this little lady, she's been a florist for 40 years. So they work out this gag where Huey would welcome, ladies and gentlemen, our next sponsor, Edna Ramsbottom. And she'd come on and say, Edna, welcome to the... Oh, I said Ramsbottom. One of my daughters lives there. So he'd say, they arrange this gag. Edna, what do you do? I'm a florist, Huey. You're how long have you been? And he'd get around, wonderful flower. And how long have you been a florist? 35 years, Huey. 35 years? If you could pick a flower to sum me up, what would it be? And she's got to say, pansy. And then he'd look at the camera. And that was the gag. So we're on this Opportunity Knocks. And they had to do it almost as live, because they were recorded on Sunday, and they were out the next day. They even asked us, after the dress rehearsal, would we cut 30 seconds out of our act? That's how, you know, that's how severe it was. So they said to Huey, the gag about pansy, out. We haven't got time for it. OK. They don't tell the little woman. She's wandering around Thames Television going, pansy, 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 pansy. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Mrs. Ramsbottom. And who have you brought along? My niece, Huey. And what does she do? She's a singer. And what's her name? Pansy. But that's... Well, we won, didn't we?
Yeah.
We won. We didn't win the second week. Our girl singer won, and she was ill on the day, so we went down again. So it made it look as if we'd won again. And then the following week was one of these all-winners show, made it look as if we were on again. The following week was one of these gala shows, we were on again. So we were on about 5 weeks. So people still think that we won a lot of time.
The thing was with that show that really made it, it's like, it's not what you know, it's who you know. And the things, we met a guy...
I know you and I'm
We met a guy called Royston Mayo, who was the producer of Opportunity Knocks. And he had a lot of faith in us, you know, unbeknown to us. And in those days, producers did have a lot of power, didn't they?
Oh, they did.
And he said he wanted to do, you know, a pilot show with Little and Large. Pilot show is like they test it, and if it does well, you might get a series. And he fought for us, didn't he, tooth and nail. And Royston Mayo actually made Little and Large. He got us onto TV. He put us on everything he could, like Eddie's just said. And then in '76 we did this pilot show, and it went well, and they gave us a series, which followed.
We were very lucky, actually.
Yeah.
Actually, we don't need you, do we?
No, not really.
No, don't put it. Chris is looking.
No, we were very lucky because we recorded. I don't think you know this.
Just bring me in at the
Even
end.
with your research, Matthew, we did a pilot show in June '76. In August '76, we did that quiz show when Michael Grid was the the quiz show. Then in October '76, we did a program called Wednesday at 8, which was a variety show. Tom O'Connor fronted it, the comedian. So it was December. I think it was December the 23rd, Monday night. They put our pilot show right in the middle of the two Corries. So you had Corrie on at 7:30, us with the built-in audience, and then the second Corrie. Or no, they didn't have two Corries nowadays. It was just after Coronation Street. So we had that built-in audience. The Tuesday night, they put this quiz show that we'd done, our game show, 8 o'clock. Wednesday, we're on Wednesday at 8. So all of a sudden, we were catapulted into the public eye. And that was luck. That was down to luck.
And you do seem to have been everywhere at that moment. You did Cracker Jack briefly for a while, didn't you? Yeah.
Do you know who was one of
Nobody said
Cracker Jack? It was Michael Aspel.
No, well, that shows the young people.
No, it was Michael Aspel. It was Ed Stewart, wasn't it? I think. No, it wasn't. Was it? No, it was a Michael Aspel, Stuart somebody, an actor.
Stuart Sherwin.
Stuart Sherwin, yeah. Me and Eddie. Heather somebody, and the other girl.
Friend of my wife's actually.
And the other girl was Elaine Page.
Elaine Page.
1971.
Elaine Page, I remember you mentioning in your memoirs, Sid. She was very quiet and she smelled of chips. That's what you said about her. In
That's right.
You see, there is a reason for me to be here.
She smelled of chips.
She did.
And she obviously lived in this bedsit, and
And I smelt of salt, so we got very
Don't say I smelt of fish.
But there's another thing that happens that I think is interesting, that your big launch, your own primetime BBC series, broadcast in September 78.
Well, it wasn't BBC.
But your first BBC series...
Oh, sorry,
...comes the same...
Can we put the teletext on for Sid?
It's just 2 months before Morecambe and Wise defect to Thames.
They did.
And I wonder what's the story there? Was you seen as the BBC's replacements for Morecambe and Wise?
We used to hate that tag.
Yeah, we did. You're talking about people that we idolise, and we just never would dream in a million years of comparing ourselves.
But do you think that's how the commissioners saw
definitely.
You got in trouble with your dad, didn't you?
We'd have done the same. You've got the biggest double act of all time, and all of a sudden these two whippersnappers come along, and they must think, what's going on? And then we were getting a lot of, these two are going to replace Morecambe and Wise. We used to be horrified when we used to read that. I think, don't say things like that. But that was the thing at the time. And, I think that's why they went over to Thames. Was it? Yeah, Thames, ITV anyway. Yeah, I do.
We're going to see a clip now. The next reel begins with what I think is your first BBC show where you had the name in the title, The Little and Largest Show on Earth. It's set in a circus environment, and the audience will instantly recognise who you are doing. So let's have the next lot of clips, please.
Well, we finally got here, Starsky.
I certainly did, didn't we, Ollie?
I certainly did, didn't we? So this is Bel Air, Hollywood?
No, Ollie, this is Bellevue, Manchester.
You mean that wasn't the Black Hills of Dakota we just passed?
No, Ollie, that was Moss Side.
Moss Side. Well, this is another fine moss you've got me into.
Lightly unfold her, a little bolder. Just work your shoulders, snap your fingers, one and all. Hit the hall at the ball, that's all. Some ball. Commence advancing, commence advancing. Just start a prancing, right and left a glancing. A moochie dancing, slide, glide, trancing. You do the tango jiggle with the Texas Tommy wiggle. Take your partners and you hold her. A little forward, a little bolder. Just work your shoulders, snap your fingers, one and all. In the hall at the ball, that's all. Some ball. Commence advancing, commence advancing. Just start a prancing, right and left a glancing. A moochie dancing, slide and glide and prancing. You do the tango jiggle with the Texas Tommy wiggle. Take your partner and your hold her. Lightly unfold her, a little bolder. Just work your shoulders, snap your fingers, one and all. In the hall at the ball, that's all. Some ball. Commence advancing, commence advancing. To start a prancing, right and left a glancing. A moochie dancing, slide and glide and trancing. You do the tango jiggle with the Texas Tommy wiggle. Take your partner and you hold her. A little bolder, a little bolder. Just work your shoulders, snap your fingers, one and all. In the hall at the ball, that's all. Some ball.
There you are, as live, all in one
take. Do you want to see us do that now?
I would love to.
Eat your heart out, Steve Coogan.
And Riley?
So that was sort of outside broadcast from a tent in Manchester.
That was a tent in Bellevue in Manchester.
Tell them the story.
I must apologise to Moss Side. That's twice.
Yeah.
I used to
Nobody will
live
be
there.
offended round
I think
here.
it was offended me. No, I used to live there. So,
Tell us about that night.
That night was horrendous because
it was November.
The heaviest rain of all time. And it was in a tent, and it was in Bellevue, which was an amusement place.
The car park, yeah.
Like Blackpool Pleasure Beach, only smaller. And they had to dig trenches, didn't they?
Round the tent.
This is really interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, and it is because the thing is that the cameramen, they had the cameras, it was that far from being stopped, the show.
Was.
And we had Marty Kane, Leo Sayer, Smokey, all the
Elvis.
people of the day. Not Elvis. And,
easily forgotten.
And the thing was, the cameramen, they were that's bored and everything, because they were waiting for it to close. And they had the cameras trained on this river going round, and all the coffee cups were going round. That's how bad. And they were emptying the lights of water, you know. Anyway, it stopped, and the show was put on, and I thought it was one of the greatest nights we ever did, to be honest.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, fairly.
Yeah, I did.
And
especially after that.
I know what you're saying.
And there was something that went right.
Oh, it's special.
It didn't show. I was disappointed. Yeah. When I get out of the car, the car starts to explode, and a little headlight come flying off the car.
Yeah, you wind it like that.
And it landed right on the top of my head. I mean, I know it doesn't mean much, but it was one of those things.
The odds on that.
You couldn't rehearse that, shall we say.
You wouldn't have put a bet on it, that it landed on his head.
No, I'd put a bet on you. No, that's what made it unique.
Yeah.
This sounds quite dangerous, and I know that perhaps the way that the shows, when you were doing the Little and Large show, when the way that was made, health and safety wasn't necessarily the top of everybody's concerns. Did you ever feel like you were in danger or doing anything dicey, Sid? It was generally wasn't it, who was being fired out of a cannon or something?
Well, we had I think Michael Hurl was, who used to work for the BBC, bless him. Has he passed away?
Yes, he has. He's passed on.
Oh, bless. And he so can talk about him. Yeah, he's big. Well, they called him the Boy Scout because he loved tents and animals. And every week he would sort of like say to me and Eddie, coming, oh, I've got a pig on this week. What? And this biggest sow, and what are you going to do with it? Sid's going to ride it. You know, and honestly, and then like one week, I've got geese in this week. Geese? You got geese in? What are we doing with them? And he said, oh, they do this thing, and I have circus master, and they're sending them, they're laying eggs as they're going along, but they're not properly formed eggs, you know, so you can imagine the mess. And then one week, we sat there, we're wondering, what's he got for us this week? All of a sudden, the doors come flying open, boom, like that. This thing comes in, this fella, like as if he's surfing, ba-jung, ba-jung. It's a kangaroo.
Kangaroo.
Ba-jung, ba-jung. And it's like that. Wow, what's this? And oh, it's Sydney the boxing kangaroo.
Skippy the boxing
Skippy
kangaroo.
the boxing kangaroo.
And
you're going to box it.
Sydney was our boxer.
Yeah.
He was our boxer. So there's 2 boxers in the room. So what had to happen? They had to have a fight, didn't they?
So I get in the ring, you know, sort of to do this thing. Eddie's like you know, ladies and gentlemen, here they are, the heavyweight of this and that, and he's trying to do gags. And so for 20 minutes, I'm in that ring with this thing. Oh, before we started, sorry, the owner said to me, he said, the fellow who owned he said, be careful, Sid, keep your hands like that. Don't drop them, keep your hands like that. Because little kangaroos only have little arms, but their legs are, and what they do, they'll grab you round the neck, and then the legs come up, you know, that's you. Oh, yeah, right. So I'm going round the ring like this, padded up, and that's this thing. He started doing this, nothing boring. For 20 minutes it was boring, and Eddie's doing the gags, which was very good.
I thought so.
So that was it. So he stopped the cameras, old Michael Earl. Right, we'll see what we got on the VT. So you know, that's it. I'm stood there in the middle of this ring. Next thing, this kangaroo, boom. So instinctively, I just hit it back, bam. Well, the audience went wild. Whoa! You know, because kangaroos are not like, they're like giant rats. They're not nice to cuddle or anything. And I whacked it, and they were roaring with laughter, and it was all that. So Michael comes out of the box, and he says, like, what's going on, what's going on? They told him what had gone. He started crying, because the cameras weren't working. That's what he wanted. Yeah.
Well, Sid was always, I was going to say, Sid was always the one who did the dangerous stuff.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah.
We were filming in Littlehampton, round the south coast somewhere. I think, is it near Southampton, Portsmouth? Anyway, Littlehampton. It describes me, actually. And I know, it's an old joke. So we were doing this quickie. Sid is sunbathing, and I'm wandering around kicking the sand. He said, what's wrong with you? So I'm bored. Well, read a book, don't want to. Well, can't you make some sandcastle? No, I don't want to, I'm bored. Hey, Sid, can I bury you in the sand? Oh, go on then. And the gag was, Sid would be lying there, and just above him, this digger would come out and do all the sand, boom, and he'd be buried in the sand, and that was the gag. How are we doing this? What do you mean? You lie there, we get the digger, boom. You're joking, aren't you? It's bloody heavy sand.
And it'd been there all night, though, the night before.
But you wanted to be in show business. What's wrong with you?
Wet.
You got, you'll scratch my glasses. Oh, come on. So Sid's been so easygoing. He was within that of saying, yeah, and we suddenly revealed it was a joke. We were going to put a dummy in. So maybe we put the dummy in, the digger thing comes over the hill, drops the sand, out of the digger, an arm comes that they used to use for balancing on hills, and cut the dummy in half. Oh, Lordy.
The producer came up to
Health
me.
and safety.
Were you ever...
The producer came up to me, old Bill, bless him, Bill. He went, thank the Lord you said you didn't want to do it. Because it could have been me, yeah. Legless hand.
Were you ever put in a hazardous situation?
No. I wasn't having it. I wasn't having it. Oh, there was one... Well, I can't remember now.
What?
Oh, no, you did the Titanic thing, didn't you?
Yeah, that was in a garage, yeah. And it was about 200 gallons of cold, freezing cold water on the back of my neck that seemed to come forever. And the tag was, this ring comes down, boom, and it's Titanic, you know. Well, I'm getting in touch. We're on a séance.
Yeah, we're looking for survivors.
Getting in touch for my Uncle George or someone. And are you there? Are you there? Next thing, all this water. So we're there like that. It's finished. The sketch is over. He's in shock. I was in shock. I couldn't, you know, and they're shoving towels and gone, oh. I always got the bad side.
No, I'm just going to say when I was close to death.
Oh,
we had this producer, Michael Turner, who was a very well-known producer at the BBC, but he was ruthless. he'd rather things go wrong than right, for some reason. So I'm doing Dolly Parton. I'm on a stool that's going to go in this sequin dress with the boobies, which were bladders. And I'm singing, here I go again, just when I'm about... And the balloons, the bladders...
And the stool went up as well. Yeah.
So I'm going up, that's the gag. So we go up, and I'm thinking, well, that's it. That's the gag, that's the laugh over. No, keep going, keep going. And we're bloody 12 foot off the ground, stood on this little stool, and I knew, and I wouldn't do it, I knew he wanted me to fall off that stool.
Yeah, but your chest was going in,
thought,
wasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Because
yeah, it was caving my chest in. These bladders were really hard.
Strong, the balloon.
And sequins were coming out. Boom, 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 in my eye. You know, I was starry-eyed. Yeah. So that was my little... It wasn't as good as the kangaroo. Yeah. But I had to get something, and I hardly said a word.
They sound pretty dangerous to me. Let's see a bit more of the show. Let's run the next set of clips, please, and then we can move on to other territory.
Do you remember your first holiday in that tiny cottage in Ireland when you used to throw handfuls of peat on the fire?
No.
Good, because Pete doesn't either.
Look, if you don't mind, I want to sing me song.
And do you remember the fortune teller who predicted that you'd become a big singing star?
No.
Well, she remembers you, because you're the only prediction she ever got wrong. And do you remember the Royal Variety performance when the Queen shook you by the throat and you said...
Do you mind? I'm trying to sing.
He does remember. And what about your honeymoon when you said to your wife...
If you don't mind, I'm trying to sing me song.
What a memory. What a man. Sydney Rasputin Little, this is your life.
There's nothing in it.
You've led a very empty life. Sid, we're doing an in-depth documentary about you. A day in the life of little Sid.
You're not making a film about me.
Oh, let him, Sid. This could become a video classic.
Or a video nasty.
All right, then. Just for you.
Right, Ali, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to make this commentary up as I go along, OK? Sound on?
Yeah.
Camera running?
Yeah.
Stand by for a take.
I wish you'd take yourself out of here.
Quiet on the set. Camera running and action. We begin at the beginning. Little Sid was born at an early age. At the time, his mum and dad said they didn't care if they had a boy or a girl. They were disappointed. They had Sid. As Sid grew up, he discovered his love for music, and soon he turned to the guitar. But the guitar turned away in disgust. And then a man from a record company heard Sid sing and insisted that he make a record, which he did. The deaf man was proved right. And the record was a hit all over the world and other places. But the pressures of stardom took the toll on our hero. And tragically, he hit the bottle. And then the bottle hit back. He got depressed listening to other people's records. He listened to Simple Minds and went simple. He listened to the Stones and got stoned. He listened to the Pistols and got very upset.
Bit rude, that, yeah.
You know, in a way, that mention of the Sex Pistols...
I don't remember that.
Well, it seems like that's sort of something worth looking at there, because the climate of comedy was changing a lot in the 80s, and punk was partly the reason why that happened. I mean, what is your reading of all of that? This kind of club comedy with a working-class sensibility being there in prime time, and maybe commissioning editors feeling that they wanted to replace it with comedy of a different tone. Well, I mean, how do you read that decade?
Well,
what place is it?
We became popular during the punk era. Why, I'll never know. And we became unpopular during the punk era as well, but that doesn't matter. I think Ken Dodd said something in 1971 when the comedians program, a lot of young people, there was a program called Comedians, all patter comics of the day, and it was relentless jokes, and it was very, very popular, and they'd do another series, another series, another series. And Doddy said, they will kill comedy. And that's what happened. I remember one of the young lads, a university lad, he was a patter, you know, stand-up comic, as they say, and he said, the trouble with the old comics, they all tell the same jokes. And that was so true of the old comics. So we came under that umbrella, old comics. I don't think we just became unfunny, more unfashionable. Well, I mean, we're funnier now than we've ever been. No, but just, and that's how it evolves, you know, the Monty Pythons came along and people like that and just wiped us out.
Is that what happened, Sid? I mean, how do you see that as sort of like looking back on the history of comedy and where all those forces that were at play
I always
there?
think, growing up as a kid and everything, and then when you get older you realise, in the 50s, it was the Goon show that was, well, I love the Goons. Harry Seacombe, what, oh, you can do it, yeah? And you know, Spike Miller, oh, the wine to people, you know, and all that, and going through the desert on a battleship and stupid things like this, and you know, the sort of lines Peter Sellers came out with are fantastic. You know, oh, I don't believe in sex, I'm a married man myself. You know, and things like us as teenagers and that I thought was great. You know, and then the 60s, as said Eddie said, Monty Python, and it's a young person's comedy. It's for young people.
It's always been young people.
Sorry.
I'm just agreeing with you.
Yeah.
I was just trying to bring back.
So as the years,
a little show.
So as the 70s and 80s go on, the people grow up and people start to get into comedy like we did, and Monty Python, that lot and everything, and the Goodies and people like that. They all get into it, and that's when it changes, keeping it young, and that's what still's happening now. But I think older people, we're doing what the older comics said to us, you know. Oh, no, it's not like in our day. You know,
every generation throws up new
yeah,
heroes.
Yeah.
So my dad loved the big bands. I hated them.
Yeah.
I loved the Beatles. In fact, I remember them they were on a news programme one night, and they were singing Twist and Shout, and I came in and I looked at the telly and I said to my dad, "Who's that?" He said, he was Scottish, my dad. He said, "Oh, the Beatles. What a stupid bloody name for a group." So what did he know? But that was, and that, you know, now I say to our son, who was in the audience, about the Beatles, and he'd go, "Beatles? It's so old-fashioned, Dad. What about," I don't know any of the names.
Oasis.
Yeah.
No, it was Oasis when he...
No,
Yeah,
it was a fanatic Oasis.
Yeah, but they've only nicked it off the Beatles, haven't they?
I haven't got a clue.
Comedy does have those sort of turns, doesn't it? Generational turns. But there's also traditions that stay intact, and I think you two are part of a much deeper and older tradition that connects you with comedians who have gone before you. And I wonder whether your work in pantomime isn't a place where that seems most clear, that you're doing a kind of comedy that has very, very deep roots.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I think,
Absolutely.
before we hit on that, the thing is, when in this 80s and the 90s, when comics started to swear, and people said, like, you know, like even Freddie Starr, people like that, you know, like effing and this and effing and that. And me and Eddie never wanted to go down that road because we knew our audience, we knew we were family. Oh, thank you. We knew.
Like a ceiling.
We knew we were a family. We knew it was a family audience, and we didn't want to upset our audience. And yet, Freddie, I always remember, he was in summer season in Blackpool, and he took it on himself to put adults only over 18s. It halved half his audience. And then the powers that be came up from London. What are you doing? And they made him, because he was swearing, but he was only doing the same act, but just putting the F word in. Why? And that's what did it. And that's my little take on it. That's why we didn't, you know, go with that sort of flow.
If this was telly, we could edit that out. Pantomime. We were good in panto.
We were,
Matthew,
but you don't swear in panto.
I'm just going slightly off, because I have to tell this story. My wife's in the audience, and she said, whatever happens, you must tell this story. And we were in pantomime in Bradford. It was Aladdin, and we'd done Aladdin about 4 times. This was our 4th time. The dame was a guy called Norman Collier. Some of you might know, he used to do the broken microphone routine, Norman. He played the dame. So for 4 years, we'd worked with Norman. So when we come to rehearse this pantomime in Bradford, we barely rehearsed. We just rehearsed with the new people that come in, so we didn't have much to do, because we knew what we were doing with Norman. So the night before the dress rehearsal, stagehand says to me, "You're not doing the ghost scene then?" I went, "What?" "So you're not doing the ghost scene?" "Well, the ghost scene is like, for the little nippers, they love it. Behind you, oh no, you didn't know you." And I said, "So we're not doing the ghost scene? What are we going to do? We've got to find a ghost." So a boy dancer, he said, "I'll do the ghost." Okay, so we had to go through this routine with him. You'll remember this, because you put a good line in here. So we'd go in the haunted room. We would walk on, I was first, and I'd say, "I don't like this place." And the dame would say, "Neither do I. I think this place is haunted." And Sid would say, "I think this place is full of ghosties and ghoulies." And I would say, "I was grabbed by the ghosties once." We're talking cutting edge here. And then they would explain to the young lad, I said, we'd sit on the bench, and to frighten the ghosties away, we would sing a song. So we said, "We're going to put a white sheet over you, you'll have 2 little eye holes, you come on behind us, go, run off, what's wrong, boys and girls, behind you, no, boom." Then you tap Sid on the shoulder, and you frighten him away, and you tap, and to be fair to the lad, he did it brilliant. The morning of the dress rehearsal, he's ill, can't get anyone else. We had assistant stage manager called Terry, who was a very nervous lad. We said to him, "Terry, you've got to be the ghost." "Ghost? What do you mean I've got to be the ghost?" We explained it all. So we've got to go through it. "Well, I've got other things to do." "No, you've got to be the ghost. We're doing the blooming dress rehearsal." So we explained it all to him. Ghosties, ghoulies, put the sheet on him, the eyes there, rush on, wah, wah, wah. And to be fair, dress rehearsal, he did it very well. Comes to the night. He's the assistant stage manager who's got me at the props there, that prop there, prop there. One of the "Terry, the ghost scene." So "Oh, the ghost scene." So they throw the sheet round him. Instead of the eye holes being here, they're there. So he rushes on, and instead of rushing on behind us, he rushes on in front of us. He fell in the pit on top of the drummer. The cymbals going to the orchestra in hysterics. Me, Sid and Norman, we are crying, laughing. The place was in uproar, because like this, you can imagine an orchestra pit here, and the people, everyone stood up trying to look in the orchestra pit. We had to abandon the ghost scene, just abandoned it. It was 10 minutes before we could get back. So after the show, the producer came in, he said, "That's the funniest thing I've ever seen." He said, "You've got to keep that in." I said to him, "Well, we would do, but the ghost's in hospital with a broken wrist and 2 cracked ribs." So that's why I had to say that one.
Very glad you did.
Funny line.
Yeah. And what about your experiences of panto, Sid? Is it a form that is close to your heart?
Sorry?
Is it a kind of performance that's close to your heart?
Performance that's close to you.
Sorry?
Yes.
No,
a long way, that.
The thing was, I love pantomime, I really do, and we did. The thing is, we did cheat really, because we were doing our little acts in. We were part of it, but we weren't, if you know what I mean. And like now, you have actors on and they do the whole thing, and it's all you're into. But that was it. But one of my funniest experience was not really on. It was in Panto, and it was Bradford, funny enough. And I came out the stage door, and there's kids and all that for autographs, and I'm sort of signing autographs and everything, and all blah blah blah. And I look over the road. My car's, I had a Merc at the time, a 4-door thing, and I looked over, and these ladies motorbikes in front of me, I think. So I went over. "Thanks, folks. Yeah, lovely. Thank you. Bye. Yeah." Go over and like this, going, "Oh, I'm a bit close there." Went to the back. Flicker that bit close there. Jump, boom, boom. Oh, no steering wheel. I'd sat in the back. Well, over all them at the stage door. Stack's cartoon, wasn't it? Yeah. Sorry, it's nothing to do with Panto. Yeah. It's ad-lib this, by the way.
It's good, yeah. The Little and Large act couldn't go on forever, could it really? Essentially because of your health problems, Eddie. How did you find that? I mean, Sid in a way has developed a sort of a solo career. He's been cooking on television. He's been exploring
India,
India.
Marigold, yeah.
But what was it like that moment when you realised that being on the road, that doing gig after gig was probably not going to be possible?
In show business, there's an expression called Dr. Theatre. if you've got a broken leg, a broken arm, can't speak, you're in terrible time. Once you get on stage in front of the lights, you forget everything about that. And that's what I was doing. I couldn't walk 5 yards without, or meters, without sitting down. I was really in a bad way. In fact, I went to the doctors. I made the appointment in June. This was August. And he said to me, what are you doing? And we were just about to go on this, what we called the caravan tour, where we were doing 6 nights a week holiday camps in the northeast, the northwest, south, Yarmouth Way, down there, right in the south. And he said, I don't think you should do this. I said, why not? He said, because you could drop dead at any time. So I thought, well, I won't mention it to Sid, because he could see half his money going out the window. I didn't obviously mention it to my wife, didn't want her to worry about it. And so this was a horrendous tour we did. And I was in, and then we went straight to Pantomime, didn't we, in Hull? Mm. So, and I couldn't, I mean, when we were on the caravan tour, I was like my morning papers. So I said to our roadie, who drive us round, will you get me papers? He thought I was putting this on. So he said, no, I'm not. Mr. Lars, you need a bit of exercise. So I used to go to the camp shop. I don't mean the camp shop, I mean like the shop on the camp. So, and I used to go in, and it was like charades. And of course, the people have seen me on stage the night before, and they're going, hey, I saw you last night. And I'm going, he's never off, is he? He's never off. He's never. And then the fella had to go, what paper do you want? Can I have that? Mirror? Mail? Times? You what? Until he got the paper that I wanted. That's how bad I was. And then we went straight to Pantomime, and I was a mess, when I said.
Oh, yeah, and we were in rehearsals, I remember, and it was down the road from the hotel, and to a normal person it would be a walk, and Eddie wasn't well, and I said, we'll get a taxi. No, we're all right, we'll go up. Started walking, about five yards, stop. I mean, I'm an idiot, really. I should have said, right, but no, we're all right, I'll get there. And you could tell, I should have pulled the, even me that should have pulled the plug and said, you're not doing this. Because you could see him dying, he couldn't go back to his dressing room when, pantomimes is on and off all the time, on and off. And he just sat there at the side of the stage and just went on when he was and sat back down. And it should have been...
But what was happening, I was into heart failure. So I wasn't eating, but I was drinking water. When I come off the stage, one of the stage lads would get me a glass of water to drink. And I was retaining liquid. Mm. And the heart's going like this. Mm. So there's nothing to pump round. So I was getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Came back home to Bristol, went to see the doctor, did this blood test thing. He said, this is sky high. Come back tomorrow. Went back tomorrow. It was even higher, the reading. Straight into the hospital, BRI. They put me on these water tablets. I lost 14 pounds in 2 nights, which is a brilliant diet, but I don't recommend it. And the heart was failing. And a few days later, I got rushed to Patworth. In fact, it was the night that Spike Milligan died, because my 2 daughters who were out there brought our son, he was at uni in Manchester. They brought him down. My wife obviously was there. Sid came with his wife, all the way from Fleetwood. And, I was really touched. I mean, I know it was for the reading of the will now, but... At the time. Of course, my kids had to listen to the radio the night that Spike Milligan dies. Ladies and gentlemen, comedy legend dies. I mean, I said as soon as you heard the word legend, you should have known it wasn't your dad. So they had all that to put up with. And then came, I just had to... In fact, the doctor said to me, he said, look, you have to stop work. You must stop. And that led to the most painful phone call. Oops. I had to phone him and say, it's all over. Sorry about that, folks. I'm dead hard, really. And that was horrible.
Well, it hasn't meant that your career together has entirely disappeared. We are very, very glad to say you're here with us tonight, but you've also been doing work together, which we can see a little bit of now. Let's have the clips, please.
We'll
guess what? What? I bought a lovely record this week. No! Yes! What was it? I love this crowd. They get so involved. Little and large, sing the Pet Shop Boys.
I got the brain, you got the looks. Let's make lots of money. You got the brawn, you got the brains. Let's make lots of.
It's good to see that.
Yeah, we worked with, when they were PJ and Duncan, we worked with them. And they remembered us from, well, they wouldn't forget us. But they're great, they are great lads. I know Ant's having his problems and all that, and you can't condone what he did, but they are really, really nice lads, and they deserve all.
They're friends. And that's what me and Ed were.
Yeah, the Geordies, and they love life.
Yeah.
They're so isolated up there, so all they can do is go out and enjoy. It's true, we've been up there so many times.
Yeah. Oh.
And they just enjoy themselves.
The Vikings, it's the Viking blood.
And how has it been for you, Sid, developing, you know, this kind of this?
Well,
solo career?
it was like getting back to when Ed was that. You know, we knew we didn't really even have to tell each other. We just knew that little and large. I mean, before Eddie was ill, you know, times were changing, and we knew that something was happening that's out of our control, and our hearts. You know, your heart's got to be in it all the time. Oh, sorry.
I haven't got mine.
Yeah. And,
I've lost mine.
And so the
dog's got it.
The thing is, it sort of, we knew we had to sort of do what. And Eddie was out of action for about a year, was you? More.
Yeah, I had to wait, obviously, for the transplant.
I mean, I must say one thing. I went to see him after, you know, I was there when it all happened, and then I went back a fortnight later, and I couldn't believe, I went to Papworth, I couldn't believe, I went in this ward, and there's about 10 fellas there, all, you know, sort of wandering around and everything. Eddie's in bed, and he's got nothing up, he's set up and everything. You know, after having a heart transplant, somebody else is tickling his body, and he's there, you know. I said, you know, well, yeah, blah, blah, blah. And I said, wow, you know, I said, what's this lot here, what are they? He said, same thing, art's having new. I thought it was a rare thing to have a heart, but these fellas, they've either been rejected or they've got some, but you think it's, you know, a rare thing, but it's not. All these people waiting for hearts, and amazing.
I mean, when I went in, they said, you realise that your body could reject your heart. I said, I'm more worried about the heart rejecting me. But he has given me some material. Just after, I went out to see my brother, who was married to an Irish girl, and her brother, Brendan, was in the house. And he said, Jesus, Eddie, I've been hearing all about your operation. Cool. I said, yeah, it's quite a few months now. He said, what? Because this is where they get confused. He said, was it a triple or a quadruple?
Yeah.
I said, no, Brendan. I said, it wasn't a bypass. I said, it was a heart transplant. Old one out, new one in. Jesus, I don't believe it. Have you met the donor? I said, not yet. Let's get the gag.
Yeah, so getting back to when we split.
I forgot about it. Yeah.
So when we split, you know, the thing is, I thought, well, I can't sit at home and not do nothing. I've got to be doing something. And I did all sorts. I went back to painting and decorating. I did all sorts. And then I thought, oh, I can't just give up. I want to be on the stage. So I got this agent, little Johnny Martin. And he said, I'm finding it hard, Sid. He says, because the thing, I said, well, we know Little and Large. He said, yeah, but what does Sid Little do on his own? You know, because I was a straight man. And I thought, you know, wow, you know, I'm struggling here. And next thing, I get this chance of going in on a cruise ship. And he said, you know, the people are willing to take the chances. So I went on it, and I did it, and I did very well. And the thing was what got me was that they said, like, they come in that really started, because I was happy doing my Buddy Holly. I went back to my roots, Buddy Holly, all that. And I was happy with that. But then they said, hope you're going to be funny tonight. I've been a straight man for all those years, and I've got to tell jokes, you know. So I did sort of put, like, stories in between, in stories and all that. And it worked. So I got a thing. Then I got my first panto. I did 9 pantos on my own, which wasn't the same. Yeah, that's the trouble. I couldn't do buttons and that because I was too old in, but it was either
That was it.
Baronard up or Aladdin and all that. And I did quite well out of it until, you know, they always say showbiz, you know, you don't give showbiz up, showbiz gives you up. And here we are, 76. I mean, like you were saying, I've done the Marigold Hotel. I've done another one that's coming out, Vietnam. Unfortunately, I'd love to have had Eddie with me, but I think that would have killed you, wouldn't it? Yeah, it would have. You wouldn't have even got on the plane, never mind.
Oh, no.
But
I'd rather sit at home.
But that's it. But we've done things together. We've done the Celebrity Pointless. That
Pointless Celebrity, even.
Sorry?
Pointless Celebrities.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, it is. Cruel joke,
no,
isn't
not
it?
trying to... No.
Yeah, it's all right.
Not being...
So we're still, when we can, when, you know...
Yeah, it was due out. We did it this time last year.
We
on
did.
The Celebrities.
But it sounds like from what you're saying, Sid, that you, in a way, had to discover or convince yourself that you were funny. But we all know that you're funny. Why did you... why was that something that you couldn't see until...
Well, I'm not funny when I'm stood next to Eddie.
No chance.
Let's face it.
No chance.
The great thing was I'd had a lot of training off this man here because he was at my side for all those years. So I do things and start things. And the lovely thing, like Eddie touched on way back now tonight, is that I was on like the cruise ships and things like that. And we acts on like comics on like Mick Miller, Johnny Casson, people like this I know, and they live up near me and everything. And they'd be on and they'd watch me act, and then they'd say, Sid, when you do that, say this, say that. And they were telling me what to do, and they made me act, and, you know, as far as comedy's gone. And that's lovely. What comics would you get doing that today? You know, they keep it for themselves, but, you know, they're there to help you. That's one thing.
Sorry to interrupt, Sid.
Yeah.
I've only been doing it 54 years.
Yeah.
A nice story that sort of was the start of Little and Large. I know we're getting up singing Living Doll and all that. That was just part of it. Sid's the act. He's going around the social clubs around Manchester and getting £5 for his 2.5-hour spots, maybe 20-minute spots. So I went to see him one night, and we'd known each other. We'd been doing this pub and singing and skylarking around. So I went to see him at this club, Timperley Labour Club it was called, and he's on his fiver, and I'm sat in the audience, and Sid comes on, and his amplifier breaks down. So his brother, who was an electrician, Peter, he came on, and he's trying to fix, and Sid's, you know, and it's all getting a bit messy, and a group was on, can you lend me the amp now, you know, and I won't lend you the amp, you might break it and all that. So anyway, he struggles through. So Peter came to me and said, would you get up with Sid for his second spot in case his amp breaks down? I went, yeah, I'd had a few pints a mile, you know. So I said, yeah, okay. So we get up, his amp breaks down first song. So he goes to the back of the stage to try and repair the amp. Peter comes rushing on. I'm on my own. What do I do? I've never been on my own in my life. I didn't know what to do. So I started doing cartoon voices. No jokes. Doing Popeye.
Olive, don't kill me, guy Charlotte.
How you doing, Barney? Okay, Fred.
And all things like this. And I'd hurt my hand. I had a bandage on my hand. And I did Deputy Dog.
Okay then, Musty. I'm looking for the guy that chopped my paw.
And it was, oh, you want no Deputy Dog? That died. So I thought that was going to be the big one.
Yeah, I did.
And then we hit on something that we ended up doing for years. And that was famous people's cars starting up in the morning. And you've got to remember, this is like 1960 or 61. So it was film stars mainly. So I'd say, James Stewart's motor car trying to start in the morning. Then he'd do James Cagney. You. Tommy Cooper. Bruce Forsyth. Prince Charles, Camilla.
Harry Seacombe.
I know they weren't around then. I just thought of that one. Then we finished on Lulu's car. And we ended up, and we stormed the place. The group couldn't follow him. The concert secretary come in who booked the act. He said, I want to book you. He gets his diary out. He said, no, I want to book both of you. So I'm just about to say we're not an act when the concert sec says, I'll give you £6. So I went, oop. Now he's on a fiver. If he gets 6, he loses 2. So I'm thinking, what's he going to say? Easy going as ever. Go on then.
Well, I was very good at maths. You see, I didn't know. 3 and 3 was 6. You know, I didn't know.
It is 6. Between 3 and 6.
Yeah, I know. That's my joke, you see.
I thought
That was my joke. No wonder I died on my ass, yeah.
Sorry about that.
No, but that was
Miles
it,
away.
you see.
Miles away.
I think that story speaks volumes about your history and your relationship together. Listen, we have to leave a bit of time for the audience to ask some questions. We've got one more lot of clips to watch. So can we run those, please?
Yes, Miss Piggy? Look into my eyes, Kermit. Yes, Miss Piggy? What do you see, Kermit? A pigsty.
Lubba, hubba, lubba, 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 lipple weed.
Flubble, flubble, lovely. Whee!
Have you?
No! Hello, Stavros.
Hey, Lieutenant. Have you got any jobs for me, Lieutenant?
Yeah, go over there.
And what happens when I go over there, Lieutenant?
Get
This town ain't big enough for both of us, Mr. Wayne. You better get out of here.
Like the hell I will.
Nice to meet Mr. Rigsby. Hello, Mr. Rigsby.
Hello.
You gonna give us a song, Rigsby? Go on, then. Let's see you singing.
There's a rain going rain.
Have you seen Miss Jones anywhere
Miss Jones,
She's over there and she's sunbathing.
How are you, Tommy?
All right, thanks.
Good lad.
Just like
that.
Just like that.
Just like that.
Just like
Right, John.
Say, I like a nose. You pick it yourself. You face through the nose. It's very nice of them to wait that long.
Can you do Norman Wisdom?
Not yet.
No, let's get the cap on.
Okay, Muskie.
Welcome to Blue Pizza anyway. We have some good guests today.
Who have you got, John?
Today I'll show you how to make a kite out of Angela Rippon's knickers.
What? What was that? I missed that one.
How to make a kite out of Angela Rippon's knickers.
No.
I don't think Angela Rippon ever presented Blue Pizza.
No.
That was extraordinary. Like the topless boy doing Leonard Roster singing Boney M. That's a slightly surreal moment, that, wasn't it? But that clip seems to me, you talked about pleasure very early on in our conversation, that was the reason why you did this. That you did it because it was fun. And I can see that there on that screen with you talking to those kids. You were really enjoying yourselves.
Well, they were getting the laughs, we didn't have to.
No, I think it's great when you can actually involve yourself with people and you know, they really, they want to be stars. I mean, like what's going on with the X Factor and all that. Everybody wants to be a star, don't they? Think it's easy. And it's not easy. It's you know...
We used to do a lot of that, didn't we, with Vox Pops?
Yeah, and it was lovely. It was great fun, yeah.
Vox Pops, listen to me talking Latin.
Well, speaking of Vox Pops, it is time maybe to get some microphones out into the audience here.
Oh,
so
no.
Could we have the house lights up? And if you have a question for
there's people.
Sid or Eddie, yeah, then when our eyes have adjusted...
To be or not to be?
Yeah, you do it now while we get the question.
I can see someone that I live with.
Make some big gesture because we're slightly blinded still. Or perhaps somebody already has the mic.
Someone's waving there.
Right, let's get the mic there.
Yeah. Question for Sid. Sid, how did you get the name Supersonic?
Well, when we met, he was. And we used to say that in years to come, I'll be wheeling him round in his wheelchair and someone will shout, "How are you doing, Supersonic?"
It's come true. Yeah. No, I don't. That's the trouble with our act. It just evolved. You know, most probably said it, and someone said, "Hey, that was funny, Supersonic," and everybody started calling me Supersonic, so he kept it in. Simple as that.
To answer your question, we don't know.
Yeah. So it's like all the things when you think Bruce Forsyth, you know, to see ya. See, so they just catch on with the public, and that did, yeah. Well, it did with you, sir, yeah.
Let's have another one. I can't really see, but if there's somebody holding the mic now, then speak. Or if you've got a question, can you wave? Anybody up there? Perhaps I think we've got mics everywhere. Yeah. Here we go.
How did you lot get into showbiz?
How did you get into showbiz?
How did we get into showbiz?
Well, we met by accident.
You haven't been listening, have you?
We met by accident.
I ran him over on a zebra crossing.
No, we met in a
You know
snooker hole.
what? Just explain that. We're in Bristol, 1974-75, Hippodrome, in Panto, bottom of the bill. They thought we'd printed it. And this reporter came from the Bristol Evening Post, and he said, how did you meet? So I thought, I'll throw a joke in here. I said, we met by accident. I ran him over on a zebra crossing. In the paper, Little and Large met when Eddie ran Sid over on a zebra crossing. Missed the joke.
No, it's more or less what we've just said, you know, at the beginning. If we're not going to reiterate, we're not going over it again.
No.
Is that a bit of an occupational hazard for a comedian, though? You know, you make a joke and it gets reported. Suddenly it kind of gets incorporated into the biography.
Nowadays, you have to tell people, a lot of people, I'm going to tell you a joke. I'm in Waitrose, in Portside, and they are taught to be ultra polite. So if anybody asks me how I am, I never say I'm well. I go through all this rigmarole. So young girl, she said, how are you today, sir? Not good. Oh, no, I've been to the doctors today. I've got the big C, dyslexia. Well, she said, thank goodness you laugh. She said, well, my auntie had that. There are treatments. She goes every 3 months. No. I said, I've been to the doctors today. He said, I've got the big C, dyslexia. My auntie's in remission, you know. It's a joke. So, you know.
Do you observe this more now? Do you think people are not as good at spotting jokes as they were?
No, because I think, British people are... They're cynical and they're mickey-taking, aren't they? You know, if you said something to America... if you said to someone in English... Well, we'll go to America who are non-cynical. So if you said to someone in America, Pavarotti's dead, they'd go, oh, my God. Oh, that is so sad. Oh, that man was so talented. Oh, his poor family. Oh, I can't imagine. What a terrible... Oh, isn't that terrible news? When Pavarotti did die, my brother phones me up. A minute after it's been announced on the telly, Pavarotti's getting buried in a microwave. It's not over till the fat man dings. And that is the British, isn't it? That's the British way. And so, but I'm finding it normal. Of course, if you're comedians, Sid will tell you, they're not expecting you to tell, if you say, What's the weather like today? Raining. Go on. No, it's raining. Yeah, go on. No, it's raining. Come on, this is a joke, isn't it? No! It's bloody raining! And that's the sort of probably more. But I'd rather have it the British way.
Out of the two of you, who is the more outgoing, would you say?
Him. He can talk to dead people, him. He can.
I usually do.
It's unbelievable. I don't know about, like, star signers, but my wife is the same star sign as him. And they both can talk for days because they don't expect anyone to answer them. They just talk. That's what I mean.
We can drink.
So, yes, sorry. Yes, there's a question down here. Thank you. Let's wait for the mic, and then we can all hear.
Did you ever perform outside of the UK?
Jersey.
I wonder whether you tried performing elsewhere.
We did France.
Yeah, well, that was the American base.
In 1965, yeah, we went over to France. There had a lot of American bases then, and we performed there. That's when some of the jokes fell. Yeah. Have I said this tonight?
Yeah. But it was good. You still does, yeah.
The thing is, I remember, you know, when I went on my own on the cruise ships, and I used to get a lot of Americans on the ships. So the Princess Line I did a lot of, and around the Caribbean and all that. And they used to come and they say, "Hey, Sid, you know, saw you last night with these Brits that brought us in to see you. They had to explain the jokes." You know, I thought, oh dear, you know. So there's no way they are a different.
I mean, I remember And you haven't mentioned this, I'm disappointed.
Sorry.
The Raw Variety Show.
Oh, yeah.
Were you going to mention it?
Oh, yes, yes.
Well, I will. Why I said mention America, that's what's just it's come into my brain. In 1977, it was the Queen's Silver Jubilee. She'd been on the throne 25 years. What a career that was. Anyway, the Americans bought the Raw Variety Show, and it was aimed for the American market. And there's me and Sid, Tommy Cooper, and was it Brotherhood of Man with the only British acts on? I mean, a lot of you won't know these people, but of the day, they were phenomenal acts. Bob Hope was the compere.
Julie Andrews.
Sound of Music. Shirley MacLaine.
Paul Anka.
Paul Anka, and he was. Harabella Fonte. Rudolph Nureyev. The Muppets.
Yeah, Muppets.
So, they told us to angle our act to the American market because it's going to be shown in America. So the thing, I'll get to what I'm going to talk about eventually. But we're in the lineup, and we'd been given the night off from a club in Stoke called Jollies. We'd been given the Monday night off. So Her Majesty's coming down the line at the end, says to Bob Hope, "And what have you been doing?" He said, "Well, ma'am, I just been out to Vietnam, sending our troops, took Miss World, Bruce, you know, Bruce out of there." Very, very nice. Julie Andrews, "What have you been doing?" "I've just made a film, ma'am, with my husband. It's due out next year." "Oh, very nice." Shirley MacLaine, "What have you been doing?" "I've just done this record-breaking season in Las Vegas, ma'am." "Oh, very nice." Harry Belafonte had been to South Africa trying to break the apartheid barriers down. Rudolph Nureyev had been on a world tour. The Muppets had been on a world tour. Me and Sid, "What are you doing at the moment?" Jolly's Club, Stoke. She said, "Is that where they have the darts?" I said, "Yeah, it is, yeah."
Yeah, but you're getting on to what it was. We were in the dressing room when Tommy Cooper was on. We'd done our bit, we'd done 9 minutes, and Tommy Cooper's on the stage. And Rich Little, do you remember the impressionist Rich Little? Brilliant, American. He did Nixon and all that. He was all, and he had his feet on this little chair like that, and he's sort of like this, and he's watching the screen. The screen's there, and we're watching Tommy, and everybody's falling about at Tommy. He never got it. What's he doing now? Eddie said, "Well, he's at the Royal Box, and he had these flowers, you know, dropped them off for me, you know, and all that. The Queen, he'd bend down with the sword as if he was going to knight him, and he didn't get it at all, did he? And
but when it was shown in America, me and Sid were cut out.
Yeah.
Yeah, devastated.
Well, it's the only time we had kittens, because on the rehearsal of this is the famous, you know, Bob Hope is introducing us. You know, every time someone comes along, and it might have just happened for these two guys, here they are, Little and George. Wasn't it? Flipping it, and then, "Bob, that should be Little and Large." And said, "Well,
I love going to America because of this humour situation. And me and my wife, we were. Well, it wasn't America actually. It was what do you call it, love? Acapulco. So it's not her fault. She's blonde. So we're there, and it's all honeymoon couples. And this couple, try to do this very quickly. They were from Chicago, and they couldn't believe that me and my wife had come all the way from England. We were like space travellers to them. "Gee, I can't remember you've come all the way from Europe," blah, blah, blah. So I played golf with him one day, and we finished, and the girls, my wife and his wife, are chatting away, and they're going, "Eddie, I cannot believe you've come all the way from London." I said, "At Porter's Head." He said, "Is that London?" I said, "Just outside." He said, "I can't believe you've come all the way from London." So, and his missus can't. So he said, "Do you know in London?" In Portishead. He said, "Do you have the Muppets?" So I went, "Oh, yeah. I'm Kermit Frank here. Hello there, Miss Piggy." "Okay, Kermit, what are you doing?" "Hey, Kermit, look at this." He went, "My God, you're doing the Muppets." And like every 10-year-old kid was doing the Muppets in the streets. So Betty Jo can't believe it. "Oh, my gosh, she's doing the Muppets." So he says to me, in London, Portishead, in Portishead, "Do you have E.T.?" So I went, "Oh, yeah, E.T., phone home." He went, "My God, you're doing E.T." We get back to the hotel. She's other mate, also from Chicago, Tommy and Betty Boo or something, know their names. So he introduces, "This is Eddie, this is Patsy." They've come all the way from London, Portishead. He said, "Eddie, do the Muppets." "I'm Kermit the Frog here. Hey there, Fuzzy. Look out, Kermit. Here comes Miss Piggy." "Okay, you two, what are you trying to do?" "My God, you're doing the Muppets." "Eddie, do E.T." E.T. Oh, E.T. phone home. Oh, my God, Betty Booey's doing it. I can't, this guy's awesome. So this lad, this is honestly true. He was very serious. He said, Eddie, I got to ask you a question. Could you talk without an accent like we do? So I said to him, I said, well, I guess if I tried, I guess I could. And he went, he's talking without an accent. True story, that. Nothing to do with Little and Large, but it's a true story.
Good one.
It's a good story.
We have time for a couple more, I think, if you wave vigorously. Yes, one down there, and can I, maybe the mic can also go up there somewhere, but yeah, let's have it there first.
Hi, looking back through your careers now, what do you most look on as your most fondest moments and why? Perhaps career defining?
Well, I mean, the thing is that I think that I look back at a year, and the year for me was 77, when we went from obscurity, more or less. Our first big television show, our first big summer season at the North Pier, Little and Large, Frank Carson, Norman Colley and Jim Davidson, all on the same bill. And the Royal Variety Show, boom, said it all.
The highlight for me...
Excuse me.
Well, I've had a couple of highlights. Do you remember West Side Story, the film? I've seen it. You were in it?
He's seen it.
Oh, seen it, sorry, I thought you said you were in it.
I think that's what he
sorry.
said.
Well, there was an actress called Rita Moreno.
Oh, yeah.
Gorgeous,
yeah.
Beautiful. And I used to watch West Side Story, and then when it came out on VHS, I used to watch, and I love Rita Moreno. Me and Sid were doing a programme called Live at Her Majesty's. And I get a tap on the shoulder and said, you must be Little and Large, I'm Rita Moreno. Oh, what a highlight that was. When you see her, you'll know why we were astounded. But for someone like her to say that to me, but in the highlight, and I'm surprised you didn't say this is your life.
Oh, yeah, well... Yeah.
That was unbelievable. We were in Blackpool, I hadn't been home, we'd done 8 Sunday concerts in Rill, I think, or London, no, and I hadn't been home for 8 weeks. And I can't get in touch with my wife. My wife's come back here with her mum and dad and our boy, Ryan, coach from Jersey Rangers. And I thought that got a big cheer. That's the last time I'm mentioning your bloody football team when you asked me to.
Don't mention football.
You asked me to do that. Anyway, they've gone back. Can I get in touch with them? No, I can't get in touch. And so you're getting worried, shall I phone the hospital, phone the police, blah, blah. So we were doing the Joe Longthorne show. Joe was doing all the second half, and we finished the first half with Singing in the Rain.
Yeah.
This was at the Opera House in Blackpool. So we used to get drenched. In fact, I think that was part of my heart problem as well, getting drenched every night. So we're getting drenched, and I just wanted to finish. So we finished Singing in the Rain, and the curtain stays up, and I'm thinking, come on, I want to go home. I want to go home. I've not been home.
Like
and this cheer went up, and I thought, that's the way to do it. Keep the curtain up, you get a bigger cheer. Michael Aspel had walked on with the book, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. This is your life. And then it was back to the studio at Granada.
The one thing about
2 o'clock in the morning.
The one thing that got me with that was our next of kin know about it at April. The show's not shown till September. So our next of kin have got to keep this secret from me and Eddie. Wives, kids, mums, dads, and the lot, yeah, girlfriends, everything. So anyway,
groupies.
So my lad at the time was 5 years old, and these strange men and women are coming to the house asking Cherie questions, and Cherie's on the phone to my sister and my brother and all this lot, and everything. And obviously he's curious, and said, "It's a secret for Daddy, but don't tell him." And honestly, a 5-year-old, and he kept it a secret. I never knew.
Brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, that for a 5-year-old. And unbelievable.
My wife had to meet a guy at the Marriott Hotel to talk about the show, one of the local hotels. And then a friend of ours is in there seeing my wife with this very attractive man. And he's thinking, oh, my God. So Patsy's very quick thinking. She went over to him. She said, "This is not what it seems. I'm having an affair." No, she explained it, you know. So that was another one that I had to keep the secret. But it was just a fantastic night, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, oh, it was,
Our mates were...
It's sad because the thing is, we were in a theatre, you can imagine, there were 2,000 people that were in it, and we were there taking the bow and everything. As soon as Michael Aspel said, well, we're going to whisk you away now to a warm studio in Granada Studio, all the audience went, ah, because they thought it was going to happen there and then.
I forgot what the question was. But it was a
where
good
is he? Where is he? Is he there with his Red Bull?
It was about your career-defining moment.
Well, we've just said it now.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So, yeah.
Sorry.
And it's and time is pressing down the back of our necks now.
Said, yeah.
And I feel it's time to draw things to a close. And it has been a complete joy to talk to both of you, because one thing that has really been demonstrated to us tonight, I think, is the depth of affection that you have for each other, and that is exactly how we feel about you. Thank you. Little and large. Thank you. Thank you.
Can we just one final thing? I've had 15 extra years with the heart and everything, and I'd just like to say, everyone here, I hope you live long enough to see the end of Brexit.
Thank you. Thank you very much.